Hey everybody, Ashton with Gents with another fragrance review. Today we're taking a look at the fragrance Craze from the house of Armaf. We're going to go ahead and check out the presentation, get into the fragrance a little bit, and take a look at the fragrance that this one is a clone of. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the presentation for Armaf Craze. So as you can see on the front, it says Craze over and over. Size and concentration on the bottom. Nothing on the side, nothing on the top. On this side, it just says Armaf Luxe, and on the back, Armaf Sterling Parfums. On the bottom here, as the ingredients and the batch code is actually printed right there on the side. There it is. Now, when you open this up, you can see that the bottle sits in here when you get it. One thing you need to be aware of that I was not aware of is that you cannot carry the box like this, because this bottom piece will just open up like this and then your bottle will go tumbling out, and that's what happened to mine. So it didn't break obviously, but what did happen is this. So this collar now does not stay on. I can put it back on there and make it look fine, but it doesn't stay on anymore. When I open this, the whole thing comes with. So be aware of that. Do not carry it around by this, because it will just flap open and then your bottle will fall. Luckily mine fell on carpet. Anyway, back to the bottle. So it says Craze here wrapped around the bottle in leather. Looks fairly nice. The bottle is glass, and this is a plastic top. This says Armaf Luxe down here and on the top of the cap, and then your batch code information is printed down here on the sticker. Now as far as the atomizer, it works well. Sprays out a decent amount of juice. It's not a Dior, but it gets the job done. So Craze is really well known in the community as a clone of this fragrance, Pegasus from Parfums de Marly. Obviously this is much more expensive than Craze though. Now, if you're comparing them just as a fragrance against a fragrance in terms of their quality, obviously Pegasus is better. But if you're comparing them in terms of better bang for your buck, then Craze, in my opinion, is going to come out ahead. Craze opens up with lavender, vanilla, and almond, and it's a pretty big blast. I'm not going to say that it's a 100% clone of Pegasus in terms of it doesn't nail it exactly, but it's very, very similar. In my opinion, we're talking 90% at least, so it's super close. If you've smelled Pegasus, you should be able to tell immediately that Craze is cloning it or knocking it off. Now, a couple people online have made mention that Craze has kind of a harsh opening, and by that same token, people have said that Pegasus has a harsh opening. Personally, I don't really get that, but I do understand where some people may think that, because when this comes out, it basically comes out full force right from the get. So as soon as you spray this on, you're going to be hit by that almond, that lavender, and that dry vanilla, that dusty kind of vanilla, right off the bat. So it comes out pretty strong, and it projects for a while, and it stays for a long time. So that can kind of take some people back, I would imagine. Again, it doesn't really bother me, but some people find that opening to be harsh. Craze is a linear fragrance, but you would expect that because Pegasus is a linear fragrance. It's mainly that almond note with lavender in the background and kind of a dusty vanilla, and that's what you get. Sure, there are other players there like the sandalwood as it dries down, but the mainstay of this fragrance is that almond note with the vanilla with the backing of lavender. So it places it kind of in that Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male family of fragrances. But it really is basically just a complete take on Pegasus. That's the only thing it's going for, and it succeeds because price-wise, you can pick Craze up right now on eBay, I believe, for around $25, and I'll check that when I put this video up, but you can get it new and sealed for $25. And Pegasus, if you're lucky, you can find it on sale occasionally on discounter websites for around $150. Maybe you get lucky and get it for $135, but I think $150 is more realistic. So this fragrance from a discounter is going to be 6 times more expensive than this one. And in my opinion, Craze can take the place of Pegasus. Now, if you're a huge Parfums de Marly or Pegasus fan, then sure, you're going to want to just go with Pegasus and maybe use Craze as a backup, the same way some people use Train Nuit as a backup for Green Irish Tweed. And let me just say that I am not really a big fanboy of Armaf. Craze, I think, is very well done, but Tag Helm, I don't really like. I don't enjoy the opening to Club de Nuit Intense Man at all. At all. I really don't like that. So I'm not really a huge fan of Armaf. I have a bunch of their fragrances that I've tested, but I'm not a fanboy. I'm just telling you straightforward that Craze is legitimately probably their best clone that I have smelled to date. Performance on Craze is actually much better than I was expecting. This is no lie. When I first got this in a few weeks ago, I sprayed it on about 6:30 p.m., just started testing it, wearing it around the house and stuff. When I woke up the next morning at 6:30 a.m., I could still smell it. Now, I'm not saying it was projecting hardcore or anything like that, but when I got into the shower that morning, that following morning, I could still pick this up, and I could still pick it up pretty well. So this thing has staying power. And in terms of projection, it projects very well as well. I would say it's above average, bordering on being great in terms of projection. It's not something that's like those old school vintage fragrances like Amen and stuff that would just fill up a room immediately with 2 sprays. But this is going to outperform the majority of fragrances on the market. So when you do wear this, be aware of that, and don't go super heavy on the trigger, the first time you wear this. Wear it a few times, kind of get a feel for how it reacts with your body chemistry, and then go from there. All right, guys, that's my review on Armaf Craze. Again, not too much to go into detail here. It's mainly that bitter almond with a dusty vanilla, lavender in the background, some sandalwood as it dries down, but it's mainly linear. It doesn't really change a huge amount. It's not one that you spray on and then in the top. It's completely different than what happens in the mid and the dry down. It stays pretty much the same the whole way through. This is honestly a great alternative to Pegasus. I don't say that lightly, but it really honestly is. For $25, the quality is higher than I expected, so I don't really have any negatives to say about Craze. It's a good fragrance. If you like Pegasus, you should like this. And if you like Pegasus but don't want to shell out the money for it, this is a great alternative. Let me know what you think about this. As always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.